In the 1870s and 80s, a man who had lived around here and had made his money from butterick patterns, I think he built 30 buildings. This, which we call main house, he built as the estate for his family. But the main building, of course, wasn't built to have 25 boys running through it with all of their paraphernalia.
When they built it, this building went all the way to the end of where the stone wall is. And when his son took it over in 1906, he cut off that part of the building, and he also tore away the porch.
That third dormer that was causing leaks and the water, you can see even where the floor and the inside got affected by the frost and came up and down. If by keeping the water runoff clear of the door, that door was going to last much longer, and you wouldn't have wet right next to your basement.
It's convenient because it shelters the entrance from rain and snow, and it has made it easier during the winters, but I think it also looks good. When we first were looking for somebody, it was just making the space lighter, more usable, and more energy efficient, right? I think that was about it.
Energy efficiency.
Yes, and since we didn't have a lot of money, we needed somebody who could do it creatively and maybe reuse a lot of the building so we didn't have to tear down a lot.
I've heard the term spaceship used to describe the school before from a distance.
Last year, when we first came into the new building, the students that had been here before, they were like, there's a lot of circles, and they call them Easter egg windows. And then they compare them to the Easter eggs in video games, and so.
It definitely is different from the front to the back. So you go to the front and it's like an old, it's like an old solid home, and then you go to the back and it's kind of these big windows. So I definitely like it though, just because you can see like the mountains in the background, you can see out back, the sun comes through.
Some people, when we give a tour of the building, will say, wow, with these big open windows, don't the kids stare out the window? And I say, yes, they do. But for some of our kids, they need something to escape, and it gives them that moment to escape without having to leave the actual room.
I think you can feel the difference in the kids more than they articulate it. And just in terms of the way we now walk through the building, in the way we live in the building, in the way we play in the building, there's a big difference. And light made a huge difference.
I wanted to take ideas from Gordon Matta Clark, this artist who used to cut holes into buildings in New York City, which was wonderful because it brought light and air into the space.
It's a silo for wood pellets. The building is now heated with locally produced wood pellets and away from oil. We're using less joule every year because the building is better and tighter. And so in the end, the system is paying for itself. This is the original staircase. That room over there with the nice fireplace is the original room, and all the students, everybody who's connected to the school remembers these rooms and these entranceways, and that's why they had to stay the way they are.
The architect doesn't need to do anything today because it's already been done masterfully. So, you look at this beautiful detail work, and you don't want to change this. And this is the kind of stuff that actually inspired what you'll see in the modern section too. I mean, there's absolutely no practical reason, and even especially by New England terms, to do all that. Yet they're done and appreciated historically. So what we're actually looking at is that same spirit is why we created the curves in what we did in the back.
And then this has always been called the blue room. It just had blue wallpaper, now it's blue walls, and we just moved the door from right next to the kitchen to over there. Where we're standing right now used to be the bathroom.
Exactly.
And it was one of our only 2 bathrooms that were usable in this building. And then this area was not open, but also cut off by a wall. So this was pretty dark, I think. This was pretty dark.
Basically, you enter and hit a wall everywhere.
Right. So this whole area is new because the dining hall used to face Boathouse out that way. So So we had no view of the mountain and of the green out that way whatsoever. And that was, for me, one of the absolutely most important things that we did, to open up that wall so we can see Stony Top, we can see the mountain, we can see the green, and bring in the morning light on that side.
It's definitely a lot brighter. I think it is a great benefit to have that view and see outside and see the beautiful ridge line and everything like that before you were just staring at another building.
The first thing I noticed when I came in and saw the changes was the light was just gorgeous in this building. It feels newer, it feels cleaner, brighter.
It is so much warmer. We don't freeze in the winter. Normally by now we'd have gloves and jackets on, and now we're just wearing our regular shirts.
And we use all of our space all the time for activities outside of meals, especially in dining rooms. So having big spaces to do big activities is always better than being cramped into tiny classrooms.
Meals are very important at the school. We have family-style meals 3 times a day, and this was wasted space before, right? I mean, it wasn't there.
This school always succeeded in replacing drugs with love. So for me, this shape right here is a hug. You've got corrugated metal that you'll find on a lot of barns in New England. It reflects and bounces the light. You've got replacement sliding glass doors, in most inexpensive way to get windows. We even recycled old windows that we found up in the attic, and those are being used in the faculty lounge. So it's kind of this wonderful use of what was here and making do with it.
Yeah, they were the outside windows in the dormers, exactly. You took them out of the dormers. And you guys did refinish and make the inside mechanisms workable again, so now the weights are polished, so they're functional again.
The weights, I forgot about that. We had those weights sandblasted by Abbiati Monuments out of Brattleboro, did the sandblasting. So we found these old cast iron weights. So, right, I mean, that's the counterweight, and you can see, it just keeps it hanging.
This top floor had been, we were told that we couldn't use it anymore. And it was suggested we just take off the whole top floor, put on some additions, and, money's going. And so it was wonderful when Joseph came in. He was so willing to work with us. And that's one of the main things that was so useful. We didn't have to tear down anything. We just redid. No additions.
We use it as a meeting room, I use it as a board room, the boys use it as a game room, so it's used all the time.
You've got basically 3 materials. You've got the stud walls that used to be covered in wood paneling, so these were smaller rooms, now they're open to other rooms. You've got this corrugated metal, this wonderful stuff that you see in the barns of New England. It's very inexpensive, and yet it has a lot of sparkle and life to it.
It is perfect because it really duplicates the dining hall, right? It's the same shape and it's the same 2-floor concept, just smaller, and that's why we also have the metal here. So for me, it's absolutely perfect.
All of us who have anything to do with the school know that having a relationship with the natural world is important for the health of all human beings. And for these boys, it's even more important. It helps them feel better about themselves, it helps them make friends, and academically, the natural world is a ready-made tool for teaching.
It has changed the school in many ways. It's a better space, they're better classrooms, it's a better functional space, it's a more friendly place. It's also definitely a place that family who visit can appreciate. Nobody comes here because of the building, and that's not the reason for it, but just having a friendly space adds to the overall impression for the families.
It is such a child-friendly place now. It's their home away from home, and I think it's healthy for both the kids and the parents.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for saying everything you just said. Thank you.